Space, the final frontier. My name is Captain Foley, and these are my adventures. Captain's Log, Stardate 201509.17. Hey everybody, Captain Foley with you. Sorry it's been a while since my last Captain's Log. There's been a lot going on with me personally. I suffer from clinical depression and anxiety and have for 20 plus years, and the last 2 weeks have been really bad for me. I've had my good days and my really bad days, and yesterday was a really bad day, and today is not so bad because I'm trying to keep myself busy. So I thought I'd do a Captain's Log and talk to all you guys, because when I talk to you guys and do these, it makes me feel a lot better. So let's get into it. I know there's a few questions anyway. Alright, so the first one is from Elijah Kerrigan. Please don't fake stardates by running year info together. There are tools online where you can determine the current stardate based on canon and the time it has been since the end of Voyager. This I'm well aware of. I actually have an app on my phone, Stardate app, which I can get the stardate. However, the stardates, I do them that way so that they're easy to keep track of for myself and for the fans. Just lets you know roughly when these were made so that you can look back and figure it out without having to use a stardate calculator or a stardate converter, because a lot of people don't know about them, don't know how they work. So I'm not going to do that. Thank you for the suggestion though, but and then I said I'm aware of that, but I chose to do it this way so I can keep track of things. And Guy Walker said, "Oh lordy." So I don't know what that means. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's how I'm doing it for my personal channel, for my preference. So that's how it's going to be. Power 543. This is Commander Cockings asking a question now. So, Captain, if you had to go on an away mission and take a full set of kit with you, so tricorder, communicator, phaser rifle, but they all had to be from different eras, which would you pick to be your perfect away team setup? Well, that's a good question. Probably a Nemesis era tricorder. I need a TOS style phaser. I can't say TOS style phaser rifle now apparently, so I'm going to go with first contact phaser rifle. And communicator ideally would be TOS, but I think I might have to go with the next generation communicator badge. I think they're the best out of all of them. So that would be my kit. So the next generation badge, the Nemesis tricorder, the first contact phaser rifle, the TOS phaser, and yeah. As for uniform, that's a good question too. Probably Wrath of Khan style. So the Magnificent Maroon, or the Monster Maroon as it's sometimes called. So next is from Steve Martino. Good job on the sync fix. When I released my last video, I converted the file wrong to the wrong file format. So when I uploaded it, by the end of the video, all the sync was out. The sound wasn't synced up to my lips. So I had that corrected and I uploaded it. So King Rocks AS89. Hey Captain, I'm wondering what are a few of your favorite Starfleet ship classes? I know number 1 and 2 are probably the Federation class and the Connie. You'd probably be right. But are there any other classes you like? Also, do you know what the Commander's favorite class is? My top 5 are the Reliant type Miranda class, the Akira class, the Nova class, with number 4 and 5 being tied with the Galaxy X and Sovereign classes. I love Trekyards in all its variations. I've enjoyed all 58 episodes, and I wish you 100 and 1701 more. Well, thank you very much. So, other classes that I really enjoy, the Andor class from FASA is one of my favorite designs. There's actually a modified one that had, instead of this secondary hull here, it has a Excelsior style hull, which suits this aesthetic way better. So the Andor class is definitely one of them. Any of the TOS style ships, so a TOS style Miranda, a la Dave Lewis, sorry. Dave Lewis built a beautiful TOS Miranda class model, and that is beautiful. I love it. The Saladin class, which is the single engine destroyer. There's so many starships or Starfleet ships I like, but TOS is where it's at. And yeah, the Connie's number 1, Dreadnought's number 2, the Federation class. So I also like the refitted Federation class and the Ascension class Dreadnoughts as well. So I hope that answers some of your questions. As for the Commander, I know his favorite ship, I believe it's the Prometheus and or the Dauntless class from Voyager, which wasn't really a Federation ship but pretended to be. But don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure the Prometheus is his favorite ship. So Samuel will chime in on the next comments so I can tell these fine people what your favorite ship is. Next is Darby Fox Conway. I don't usually name my ships in Star Trek Online with Federation names. They're mostly named after animals. Well, except for my T6 Fleet Long Range Science Vessel, which is called USS Equinox. Winky face. Yeah, I have a problem with Federation names to a point because there's only so many that you can really name, and they don't sound intimidating enough. And I know the Federation isn't about intimidation, it's not about war, but I tend to name them something that I would like. So that's why I have the Executioner. I've got, for Star Trek Online, I've got the Executioner, which is a TOS class ship, or TOS Connie. I've got my refit, which is the USS Diablo. My Ambassador class, which is the USS Beowulf. My Galaxy class, which is the USS Highlander. And I've got my Sovereign class, which is the USS Time Lord. And can't think of any others right offhand. Yeah, but I've got very interesting names for my ships. And yeah, so there you go. Matthew Davies, any poop on the Wand Company Tricorder? No, I haven't heard anything on the Wand Company Tricorder. That would be amazing. I know the Wand Company is releasing, they're the ones that released this phaser remote, which I've done a review on. They're also releasing a communicator, which is coming out, stupidly enough, in January. Why would you release it in January? Why not release it early December so that people can get it as a Christmas gift? Because I know a lot of people, like, they would make huge sales in December. People that wouldn't normally buy Star Trek stuff would buy that to give to a loved one, right? So, but yes, it's going to be a Bluetooth speaker, and you can use it with your phone. You can use it to play music. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be sitting here right beside this one, so I'm going to get it right away. But like I said when I got this, I would love to see a tricorder built by them, which is like a portable hard drive or something. Some kind of, I don't know what you'd make it. You could make it a Bluetooth speaker built in there, obviously. You could have the little view screen work. You could play videos. You could you know, you can push videos from your phone to your TV from YouTube. They should be able to do that. And a portable hard drive, something like that would be awesome. I think they definitely need to do that because the quality of these things are amazing. And yeah, more stuff from the Wand Company. Go to the Wand Company site and tell them you want more stuff. USS Arkansas. Great shows. I know you like cruisers, but do you like fighters and your favorite? Question mark. My favorite is the Chanley class from FASA game and the Kayoko class from my shipyard. Hope to see the Chanley class on your show someday, as indeed you will. Oh yes, the ship you tried to say was Mars class battleship with Starfleet Battles game. Keep on trekking. That's the 4 nacelle battleship that I couldn't remember the name of last one. So the Mars class. Thank you. And so I like cruisers, but do I like frigates? Sorry, frigates. I said fighters. Frigates. Well, I kind of got over this. Probably the TOS Miranda class would be my favorite. I don't know if you guys would consider that a frigate. It's more of a light cruiser, but frigates and light cruisers are kind of interchangeable. Light cruiser wise, I'd probably go with this, or destroyer scout is also frigate class, so the Saladin maybe? That's a tough call, but yeah. There's my answers. I'm sticking to it. Oh, he also said keep on trekking. I don't think I read that part. Avarl NMARKU4. But what about Trekyards on YouTube? Is it going to be down the drain, or are you going to post them on YouTube as well? He's of course referring to our Patreon that we're starting up later this week, which I will talk about at the end of this episode. But Of course, Trekyards is going to be on YouTube. That's its home. It's going to be there. It's going to be free for everyone to watch. You don't need to subscribe. You don't need to support the Patreon. But if you could, and if you enjoy the show and want to help us out, we'd really greatly appreciate it. So please consider it. But no, you definitely don't have to. It's a free show, and we want everyone to see it. So it will never be a pay-only kind of thing. So don't worry about that in the least. Next is from Catch Whale. Catch Whale. I don't know. Like I said before, and I said many times, I hate YouTube names. They're hard to pronounce, and they don't make sense some of the times, and there's words just all smushed together, and I just feel like an idiot saying half of them. I really liked Renegades. I want Gary Graham to fist pump someone, but I want him to do that every time I see him in something. Crash and burn, Achilles. Yes, there's a few comments about Renegades on here, which we'll talk about. But yeah, we of course had Adrienne Wilkinson. We interviewed her. We've talked to Scott Nakada. We've talked to Tim Russ. We've talked to a bunch of the Renegades guys, and it's a production that I like, and it has a lot of potential. It was hard to cram in what they did in that episode because they're not sure if they're going to be able to make more, but they want to. But they needed to set stuff up for future episodes, so yeah, we'll talk about that more with some of these later comments. Empyrean Frost. What is your favorite TOS uniform? Cage, Standard TOS uniform, the JJ uniform, Where No Man Has Gone Before uniform, TMP uniform, or the Wrath of Khan uniform? This is a tough one. This is really a tough one. The Wrath of Khan uniform would be by far my favorite, followed very much immediately by the TOS standard uniform. Then the Cage. The Cage, I kind of like that style. Well, not the Cage, sorry. Where No Man Has Gone Before style. Then the Cage. JJ uniform is kind of neat. It's kind of cool that it's a two-piece. It's got the black underneath, and you could, the top part is kind of a tunic that makes the V. And then there is the movie, the motion picture uniforms. The only motion picture uniform I like is when you first see Admiral Kirk with the white in the middle and the gray on the sides. That's a very slick looking uniform, and if they all looked like that, it would have been awesome, but the unitard color and just the pajama look doesn't work. So yeah, there's that. I do like the Admiral's uniform that we first see him in, though. He also goes on to say, "You're the captain. We have to do what you say, sir. So make these as long as you feel comfortable making them." Well, thank you. A lot of times it's just, that's how it works out with how many questions are asked and whatever. But I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know you want to hear your questions answered and whatnot, so it's hard to skim through it all. I don't always want to watch full videos either. So that's why I kind of made the Captain's Log supplemental, which I hope you guys like. Got a lot of positive feedback from that. Just get straight to the point. Doesn't answer your questions, just more of what I want to talk about. And I've only made one. I intend on making many more, so stay tuned for those. So the next is from Dance Doc 1. With both the volume and quality of the material you guys put out, I would have no problem paying for a Patreon. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Regarding carriers, they mainly seem to be in games such as Shattered Universe, which you mentioned. My favorite being the mobile outpost carrier, the USS Typhoon from Star Trek Invasion for the PlayStation 1. The first Star Trek game I ever played, which may color my opinion. The USS Typhoon is a great ship. If you don't know what it looks like, look it up. It's a big, bulky carrier. I love the design, and it's definitely going to be featured on a Trekyards episode at some point in the future. MS7. Hello, Captain. I must make a confession. First, I am a recent newcomer to Star Trek and have learned only a little about the universe so far. I have, however, just watched a marathon of Trekyards and enjoyed them very much. Thank you very much. That's awesome. As a newcomer to the Trek universe, I would love to know about how Starfleet is organized. For example, what ranks do they have? And are there separate departments for things like training, construction, research, colonization, and so forth? The information out there can be very confusing for a new arrival such as myself. Perhaps you could do a Treknology episode about that. I'd also like to thank both you and the commander and yourself, for all the information you've given to a brand new fan, and look forward to seeing so much more. Awesome. Thank you very much. We will definitely keep you entertained. As for that idea for an episode, excellent idea. There are different sections of Starfleet, like the Starfleet Corps of Engineers are in charge of construction. I don't know if there's a colonization branch. I'm sure there is. But you do get conflicting information, as with all Star Trek information, because there's no colonels in Starfleet until we get to Star Trek 6 and you see Colonel West, which was cut out of the theatrical version. So yeah, the ranking system, we can definitely go into that at some point. I think that's a great idea, and Sam and I have talked about this recently. We do want to do episodes of Trekyards that focus on the history of specific races, and specific races that you might not know much about, like the Gorn, the Tholian, the Lyran, the Kzinti, the Andromedans, the Interstellar Concordium. Do a whole episode on each race, so to speak. Tell you their history from a Starfleet Battles point of view, from a FASA point of view, anything in canon, things like that. So we've got those shows lined up down the road, but we got so much on our plate. We got so much shows filmed and ready to go. We got so much stuff we need to do that we're working on with special guests. Our minds are blown. We got so much stuff to do. We just don't have enough people to do it. We'd love to have a huge Trekyards production team and actually make this a huge thing. But right now it's just Samuel and myself, and we are looking forward to bringing you all these things. But it does take time, guys. And if we could donate all of our time to this, which would be helpful, and that's what the Patreon's for. If we can get enough funds coming in from that we can devote more time, if not full time, to Trekyards, we can get those shows out for you. But as it is, we have lives, we have jobs, we have things that need to be taken care of in day-to-day life that we can't work on Trekyards all the time. So there's that. So if you want to help, go to trekyards.com and donate, or go to our Patreon page, which will be up probably today or tomorrow, but definitely later this week, and check it out. You can donate whatever you want a month, and it'll help us out because it'll help us create more and better content for you guys. But we'll talk more about that later. So thank you very much, Emma. It was great hearing from you, and I'm glad you're a fan of Trekyards. Keep watching, and please comment on this video and let me know if you have any other questions or anything like that, or if I even answered your question. Welcome to the Trekyards and Star Trek family. We're not crazy here. We're just us. Moving right along. Joseph Bryant. I liked your episode on the whale probe. I agree that this was one of the most alien ships in Star Trek. You came up with some good ideas, why it could be so large, but you also touched on an idea that was really interesting. Many people might assume, as often in early Star Trek, that the probe's creators were humanoid, or at least look, think, and act like us. Since Star Trek is a vision of the future, there is no reason to believe that the probe's creators were hominid, or that in their line of reasoning that they would think about a probe as a small robotic scout. Perhaps the creators resembled whales, in which case they would naturally build on a larger scale. My personal theory is that the creators resembled the Icelandic-sized gas bag creatures astronomers theorize may inhabit gas giants, which would make sense as far as them thinking of humans as mites. I am sharing this idea with you because you have several times in the past rationalized certain things by saying it was 23rd or 24th century technology. And this comment goes on, but it gets cut off on my iPad, so I'm going to switch to my computer real quick. Hold on. So he goes on to say, in future episodes on ships such as the Valdor, please keep in mind that there's not only future technology, but there's also alien technology. While it might be similar to Earth technology, it does not have to follow the same process of development. For example, species from Voyager and Enterprise had very advanced weapons, but had never developed technology such as the transporter. And I got to add in, or the replicator. Most of the Delta Quadrant races were quite primitive compared to us. Some were super advanced, like the Borg. So yeah, I agree. And thank you for that theory. Actually, that was one of the comments on the whale probe, and we read all these comments, guys. Somebody suggested that yes, maybe it was so big because it was filled with water, like the Xindi aquatics, and there were whale type creatures in there. That's why it was so huge and voluminous, because you need that space, right? And that makes perfect sense. So awesome, thank you for the suggestion, and we definitely do try to look at it like that. I've made that point numerous times. A, it's future tech, and B, it's different alien tech. It would have developed and evolved and come about by a different process, not necessarily the same as ours. So Yes, I do point that out on several occasions, and so does Samuel, so we do try to keep that in mind, but sometimes we don't listen to Doug Drexler's advice, and we are stuck in our monkey brains, and we just don't know how to get outside the box and think outside the box. So, Picketum D. I just finished watching Renegades, and I'm impressed with what they accomplished. We've all seen fan videos that stink, but I've seen Hollywood films that can't hold a candle to Renegades. J.J. Abrams, anyone? The cast is quite impressive, and that includes the professionals who are appeared in Star Trek production for the first time. This was a lot of story to tell in a short amount of time. New characters had to be established, the story arc had to be coherent, and the continuation had to be set up. The script and the editing managed to do all of that. If anything should have been left out, it is the reappearance of the Archer in the last half of the film. In my honest opinion, that was the weakest part of the story. I do feel that the makeup, specifically the alien effects makeup, needed to be better. They simply did not have adequate... It was not adequate for high-definition video. Given the budget, though, compromises must sometimes be made. I'll take a great story over great makeup any day. The story left us with mysteries, and I don't know why my iPad keeps cutting things off. So I'm just going to scroll down on my computer and read the rest. The story left us with mystery, and I, for one, hope to see other Renegades movies in the not-too-distant future. I'm hooked, and I want to know who the true antagonists are. Yes, there's a lot of positive and negative and back and forth about Renegades. The fact of the matter is, it's Star Trek, and it's good Star Trek, and it's Star Trek that has Star Trek actors, and it's got the true heart of Star Trek. I know a lot of people say it's Renegades, it's darker, it doesn't follow Gene's vision. True, but I mean, there's not just black and white. There's multiple colors. And Star Trek universe is the same thing. You can't have just, oh, we're just good, we're just peaceful, we're just explorers. There's no dark side to us. That doesn't fly, Gene. I know humans are supposed to evolve to that point, but in that short amount of time, in the next 300 years, I don't think we'll reach it. 3 million years, maybe. But so I don't have a problem with Renegades. There's a few special effects and script details that kind of weren't impressive to me. But considering the budget they made it on and the time they made it in, I think they did a fantastic job, and I'm looking forward to more stuff from them. As far as I know, they are moving ahead with things. They've acquired 1 or 2 more actors for the next few episodes, so it can only get better from here, guys. I hope you guys realize that. Try not to bash it too much. It is Star Trek, just like JJ is Star Trek. I mean, it's Star Trek. You enjoy it for what it is. Every Star Trek has its good points and its bad points, so that's all I have to say as your captain. And I'm not a JJ fan, but I say I've watched Star Trek, the JJ Star Treks. I own them. They're Star Trek. I watch them occasionally. You can't make fun of something if you don't know about it, right? And I make fun of regular Star Trek for all the errors and inconsistencies and what the hell kind of moment was that? You know what I mean? I make fun of that all the time. And you can't sit on a golden pedestal and say, oh, this is perfect and that's not, because everything has its flaws, even regular primetime Star Trek, and I pick it apart when I watch it all the time. I'll say to the wife, oh, that's stupid, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't jive with another episode, that's not in, I don't consider that in my canon, that is thrown in for convenience, whatever. There's always that kind of stuff going on. Renegades did a great job with what they had, and I'm looking forward to more from them, so that's it. Rant over. Elijah Kerrigan. No, the effects on Renegades were horrendous, and the acting, save for the people who'd been in Star Trek before, was as juvenile as the script. The new Starfleet pajamas? No. I respect their work, but it's not Star Trek by any stretch. I don't agree with this, and I'm going to keep reading it, but a lot of this negativity I'm going to be cutting out of these shows. I don't mind talking about it, I don't mind dealing with it, but when I hear it all the time, it gets a little much. I agree with the pajamas. They're not as bad as motion picture pajamas, but they're a little loose-fitting, and yeah. This is Firefly in a Star Trek wrapper, and Firefly sucked specifically because it's like this show. lot of people are going to disagree with you on that one, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion. The whole thing that makes Star Trek what it is the hope for a better future. Renegades shat all over Star Trek by making Starfleet the enemy. The pajamas don't help. Was that some sort of attempt to make Starfleet look stupid? It worked. If by some miracle it becomes a real series, there's zero chance I'll watch it because, like I said, it isn't Star Trek. It also isn't acting. The actors did the best with what they had available to them and the time that they had to do it in, so to say that's not fair, if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Don't complain about it then. You have no right to complain about it if you're not going to watch it. That's my opinion. Take it for what it is. Raymond Colin commented on that and said, how was Starfleet the enemy? And Mall Santa said, I really hate to say it, but I really do, but I agree 100%. What the fuck is up with the uniforms? True, the uniforms aren't the best. There were concept ones that were considered beforehand, which were much better, but whatever happened in the production, somebody got become costume designer and they came up with those. So we have to take them for what they are. Pajamas is a fitting word. I watch Renegades and it just doesn't feel Star Trek to me. It feels more like it should have been titled Space Renegades rather than Star Trek. True, it could have been any other science fiction franchise and been perfect, just like JJ. It's an action film, but you don't have the Star Trek name on it. But that being said, it is Star Trek with Star Trek actors and Star Trek characters, so we have to embrace it because it is Star Trek, and it's people trying to make good Star Trek. And if they fall short, they're doing their best. So. And the music with that is not Star Trek. It's fine and dandy for another movie, but it's not Star Trek type thing. And yeah, the acting quality was poor. It took them way too long to make that movie. I mean, seriously, from what I saw, the movie should have been only taken a month after getting all the props set up and makeup applied. I do understand the funding part and all, but I'm just saying it does not appear to have any good effort in the quality of the making of Renegades movie. They're slapped together so fast and so careless it totally ruins the movie. They did what they could. They filmed everything in 2 weeks. Yes, the production and the editing and the special effects and everything did take a long time to compile and get that movie together, but, you know, it's better than I could do. Better than a lot of you could do. So why do we have to complain about it so much? King Rocks 89 says, then go watch Star Wars and shut up. Why do people like you have to come in here and try to ruin everyone's good time? Okay, I don't like the conflict on here. Like I said, I've been dealing with depression and anxiety. I don't need negativity in my life. So try to keep those kind of things to a minimum. I don't want any fighting on our threads or our comments. And I see a lot of it all the time. For Star Trek fans, you know what? A lot of us are really, really closed-minded, and I don't like that, and I don't want to be a part of that. I am no fan of JJ. I freely admit that, but at the same time, I point out the things that I like about it. I do play devil's advocate for it from time to time for certain things, and it's not the actor's fault that they were given that. It's the writer's fault and the director, because the director can make changes, and did make changes, that were not beneficial to the script. They were beneficial to an action story. They weren't beneficial to Star Trek. So that's all I have to say. You can't say you like Star Trek and then not support Star Trek projects. So I've said my piece. Wolf6543211. You can download Starfleet Command here at www.gameswin.org/GAMEEN.php ? ID = 1659. I'll try to put these links and whatnot that I mentioned here in the comments below so you guys can check it out, because yeah, you probably didn't understand a word I just said. John Curbside Cross Mills. The Renegades was all right to a point, but I feel it lost the feel of the show. I know that it started out as a fan made, but some of the stars were very hammy. Like I said, they filmed it in 2 weeks, and whatever. SFB Addict, your air conditioner or computer fan or whatever, it seems to be getting louder. It's my air conditioner, and it was louder last time because the camera was in a different position. This should be fine now. But yes, it's hot here sometimes, and so the air conditioner is right beside my desk, or the furnace. So even in the winter, you're gonna hear it. But sorry. And then he goes, squirrel. Let's see if I can get this URL in without Google murdering it. And he enters a link for Starfleet Battles Cadet Training Manual, video on how to use Volume 5, another link, and then I'm currently working on Volume 7. So I'll put those in the description below. I have to still click them and check out to see what they are. So I'll do that after when I put them in the description. But thank you for sharing, Starfleet Battles Addict. I'm sorry about my furnace. I need to be comfortable. I need to be climate controlled. Ugh. Shandis bad guy. Buddy guy. Sorry. I can't read today. Shandis buddy guy. There we go. I have that Starship Fleet book that gentleman mentioned. It's a good book. There's also Starship Dynamics, which I have as well as Starfleet Prototype, which I bought from the author in the early 90s. If you love construction refit designs, you must pick those up. USS Starstalker NCC 2117 is a personal fave of mine. And then USS Arkansas commented on it, said, I designed the States class from Space Frame Starstalker class. Love the design. So yeah, I have the Starfleet Dynamics book. It's actually a very interesting book. It goes through quite a few things. I'll just grab it real quick. So yeah, I got this at a Star Trek Trek convention years and years ago. Starfleet Dynamics. This is the 25th anniversary collector's edition. 24 years ago I got this. And this is updated for Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. We'll talk about them back. But yeah, this is great. It's got how things work, engineering, security departments, boatswain call, how to abandon ship, medical ship services, planetary classification system, science department, navigational lane markers, sensors, computer systems, shuttle bay operations, different types of shuttlecraft, cargo freighters, shipping lanes, different classes of ships here. That's actually a really cool one. I gotta point this out. It's like the Reliant, but it's got a third engine in the middle. And that's the Rickover class frigate. Rickover class. So yeah, lots of very cool stuff. The Belknap class cruiser is one of my favorites as well. Sorry, I'm kind of focused on this. I kind of got away from the questions. There's only one question left, so. But there's the Ascension class Dreadnought, one of my personal favorites right there, which we talked about earlier in this episode. Right there. So this book's amazing. This is one of the main reasons that I wanted to do Trekyards, because I have all this information at my disposal that a lot of people don't know about and don't have access to. So they got different battle scenarios, tactics, different warp maneuvers. Talks about the mega phasers, which we talk about in our Reliant episode, which not a lot of people know about. You type in mega phasers on the internet, you don't get any information hardly. So I mean, these books are invaluable to me during Trekyards. The different departments: command, operations, engineering, medical sciences, ship services, communications, security. Emma, there you go, there's some stuff there. Departmental stripes, what they mean, what the department colors mean, different uniforms. Here's my favorite, the Magnificent Maroon, not the Monster Maroon. Ship alert status, blah 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 blah. Here's different departments. Emma, here you go. Starfleet Corps of Engineers, right there. Starfleet Marine Corps, Starfleet Space Command Corps, other military installations, space stations, private facilities. Federation territory, Federation Treaty Zone overview. Sorry. Yeah. So this is an amazing book. Definitely get it if you can find it. It's worth a read if you're a big Star Trek fan. If not, you're going to hear all this information during Trekyards episodes anyway. I don't always say it comes from here, but this, like I said, I compile all my information together. And yeah. Anyway, off topic, but right back on topic. Now you said something about transwarp, and I won't be able to sleep until I understand how it works. Ah! And I don't have enough books here to look it up. So I have to use the internet. Double ah! But it sounds awesome. Yeah, transwarp is kind of complicated. I explained it in the last one, and I didn't go into much detail. We will do an episode on it, I'm sure. But, yeah. Raw material as giveaways, I would love to see them as a perk. He's talking about my rough reference material, my research notes before I type up the script. I asked if you guys might be interested in those as a perk or giveaway, and he's saying yes. It is amazing that there are so many great Star Trek projects out there, but it's also frustrating because I can't throw my money at all of them. Trekyards is definitely on my list, and the possibility to just take part in any contest or receiving a page or two of these as a perks, that would be absolutely amazing. So thank you, that answers my question. Maybe we'll offer those as a perk or a giveaway for a contest, something like that. I will frame it, and in 10 years when Trekyards is bigger than Memory Alpha and runs a Borg-like collective of Trek fandom known as the Trekyardians, I will look at the frame and say, damn, I was there when it all began. Almost. A little bit. Yes, that is my plan. I love it, and I'm very optimistic about it. Thank you very much, guys. So that's the end of the questions for today. Alright. Now, what I need to talk to you guys about. Like I said, I've had a bad couple of weeks dealing with depression and anxiety, and I'm only human. So a lot of times if I drop off the face of the earth, that's why. So I apologize, but I deal with it as best I can, and I've been on medication and whatnot for it, and sometimes I'll take my medication, like change my medication. Anyway, don't know what changed in the last couple of weeks, but something really just started beating me down, and I had days I didn't want to do anything, and I didn't do anything. I didn't work on scripts, I didn't go to work, I didn't do anything. I laid in bed, and at the end of the day, that just makes you feel more useless because you didn't do anything, you didn't contribute. So, it's a catch-22. So I apologize for that, guys. And if any of you suffer from depression or anxiety, I understand. You can definitely talk to me about it anytime. I battle with it, and I would love to help you guys out with it. And I hope that Trekyards brings a little bit of life and sparkle to your day. And I never knew my purpose in life, and I think Trekyards is my purpose. I mean, yeah, I got a job, I got kids. I mean, kids are my gift to the planet kind of thing. Assuming they smarten up some of the time, but anyway. My main reason for being here, I think, is Trekyards. I mean, this is going to be around long after I'm gone. People are going to continue to enjoy it and get something out of it. And I make people's days better by just talking about stuff I absolutely love to talk about. So I feel like that's my contribution to society, and I hope that you guys agree. I hope you like it. And like I said, I hope it's around forever, and I hope that it's viewed. I'm never going to be forgotten. I'm going to be Captain Foley forever, and that amazes me. Alright, anyway, this week we are launching Patreon. I'm talking to Samuel later today about it. We're going to go over the last few details on the site, and it's either going to be launched today, tomorrow, probably one of those two, or if not, later in the week at the latest. So, and the reason we're doing it is because we want to spend more time on Trekyards. We really do. We think we have a winner here, and we want to expand it and make it better. And the best way we can do that is to focus more attention and time on it, and the only way we can do that is if we are making some money from it, so that we can actually take more time to do it and less time from our regular jobs and whatnot. So if any of you can help out with the Patreon, $1, $2, $5, $10, $15 a month, if $10 a month, that's $120 a year. That would help us out immensely. If we can reach our goal of like $750 a month, we can keep the mission briefings going, because we can have time to make them and film them. If we go to 1,000, then we have different goals. We have new shows we want to develop, but we can't do it right now because we don't have the time. So we need your help, guys. And so check the Patreon site. We're going to be having announcements and stuff about it on the Trekyards, on the Facebook group from now until whenever. We're going to be promoting it quite heavily, so check those out and definitely help us out if you can. I will put links in all future captain's logs for it, more than likely, so you guys can help contribute. And even if you can't donate to it, please share it anywhere you think Star Trek fans will see it and can maybe help out, because that would be greatly appreciated. Or if you want to make a one-time donation, go to Trekyards.com and click the donate button, and that'll very much help us out. It'll help us give you better content, make better shows, and you can get to meet us. We'll be able to afford to go to conventions. I can fly over and see Samuel. We can actually meet up. We haven't actually met in person yet, so we can do that. We want to go to Las Vegas convention for the 50th anniversary. We have things like that planned. We want to meet you guys. We want to share the Trekyards wealth. We want to have our shirts and our giveaways and stuff you can buy, and we got so many plans, but you can't do anything without money these days, so we need help with that. So that's what that's about. And don't worry, like I said, everything will still be free on YouTube, so you don't have to worry if you can't afford it. You're not going to miss out on Trekyards at all. Everything's going to be released as regular, and you can check it out. But any little bit of donation or help you can offer us would be greatly, greatly appreciated. So that is it for me for today, guys. I don't know what else to talk about. Just that talking to you guys makes me feel so much better. It's kept me busy today. I've been. What time is it? It is currently 11:55. See, my new watch. 11:55. I've already been to the gym. I've cut the grass. Filming this captain's log. I got to talk to Samuel later today. We got to film a Patreon video for a thank you video for when after you guys donate to Patreon. You get to see our thank you video, which we haven't even filmed yet, so you're getting in on it early. We're filming that later today. We got to finish up the Patreon site. So I got a busy day. Busyness keeps my mind off of my depression, so far it's been pretty good. You guys helped me with that, and I really appreciate that. Just talking to you guys is very cathartic and therapeutic for me, so thank you very much, guys. You don't know how much you mean to me, and thank you. That's all I have to say. Anyway, guys, I guess that's it for now. Please leave your questions, comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the page. Please share these if you feel that other Star Trek fans would benefit from any of the knowledge that's contained in here. And yeah, just thank you guys for being there so much. You're the reason that we do Trekyards. We'd probably do Trekyards if nobody watched it, because we love it so much. But the fact that you guys love it and watch it and enjoy it really means a lot to Samuel and myself. So thank you guys very much. Anyway, so we'll talk to you guys very soon. And yeah, this is Captain Foley signing off until next time. Bye, everybody. Live long and prosper.